Kept you waiting, huh? Kept you waiting, huh? Kept you waiting, huh? Kept you waiting, huh?
Aren't you always keeping people waiting?
That guy always keeps you waiting.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Who would have thunk Part 3 would be made? But here we are. Anyway, welcome to Zombotron Part 3. I'm your father that left for milk. Astral-Lites. What the fuck is that line? Anyway, let's head right into it. Once again, Zombotron 2019 was released in April 23, 2019, made by the same loving developer and Karlov. Zombotron 2019 is a reboot, meaning to refresh something by making a new start or creating a new version. This closely follows the plot of Zombotron 2, but with a lot of new plot elements. And when I say a lot. So we will be following the same blueprint as the old parts, meaning we'll go from what is Zombotron 2019, the gameplay, the story, what I liked, what I hated. Fuck off! What is that bullshit? And final thoughts. And if you notice how I put gameplay first, it's because this reboot has a lot more to cover within story-wise. So get some snacks and let's get on with it. It is a 2D side-scrolling action-adventure shooter reimagining the original trilogy in one game, but with a new set of paint. Reading from the Steam description, you play as Blaze Rush, a mercenary desperate for a job. In search of an easy payday, he follows a distress beacon to the surface of a dangerous planet and the remains of an ancient crash site. There, he finds a mystery that will test his strength, his resolve, and every gun in his arsenal. Now on to the gameplay portion. Zombotron 2019 plays like the originals, but more responsive and flows better because of the change from Adobe Flash to the Unity engine. So all of my problems from the original movement system, kinda, has been resolved for the most part. So you still got your WASD to move, mouse button to shoot, all that etc. But Zombotron 2019 introduces a lot of new mechanics that make you feel like it's another game entirely. Let's go through them one by one, starting with the most simple but very needed mechanic is the gun bash with right click. Being able to melee at all times without having to switch to the actual melee is an upgrade to originally wasting ammo just to break a couple boxes or so. Don't worry though, as melee weapons still have their spot in 2019, but I didn't bother as much to use them halfway through the game, as I had a lot of ammo back then. Next up is the brand new status effects. We have burning, bleeding, and poison. I'm pretty sure those are all the debuffs in the game, my bad if I missed one. But they have one purpose, which is to gradually drain your health till you die. An interesting addition to the game, basically making you have to plan out every encounter instead of blindly rushing in. One of my favorite mechanics, well, you know, annoying, but you know, it's a mechanic. Up next is grenades. It serves one purpose, and that's to blow the fuck out of enemies. You get an arc to where it's gonna land, well, most of the time, and it deals a ton of damage. You have many options from normal frag grenades to spiked and dynamite bundles. There was a smoke and stun grenade, but I didn't bother using them in the game, so my apologies if I don't have any footage on them, so yeah. Now on the most impactful part is the light RPG elements. Critical chances and health bars, being able to level up your character, pick up weapons and armors of many rarity, and managing an inventory system where you can't just pick up everything you see. Well, it may be simple, but it's very effective. And this is what I mean about 2019 feeling like a different game altogether. While it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, it's a shift in focus that changes how you approach the game, making strategy and planning feel more important and giving the game more thought behind every move. While I may have footage of the many armors and weapons that you may find in this game, I suggest giving Zombotron 2019 a go, as every playthrough you won't have the same weapons and armor that you originally had, which adds in a ton of replayability, making you experiment with the different weapon combos. Like for example, I found this auto shotgun called the Carousel, and it's just fun having an auto shotgun. Also, I forgot to add, levels also have different pathways to end it, meaning you can have alternate paths to go into the next level, adding even more replay value. Moving on, the game doesn't have the lose coins, respawn somewhere safe thing anymore. It goes very traditional with you having to find a checkpoint scattered around the map. You'll find 2 or 3 in a map, and if you don't have a checkpoint, well sorry buddy. Fuck off! Back to the start of the level with you. I will point this out later in what I hated, but it's a good mechanic. I would say it changes from, you have to plan out every encounter as I said earlier. So yeah, don't fuck up basically. Might as well include this here before the story, but man, everything about this game just looks so good. The art style is oozing personality, from level to level in lush forests, abandoned temples, to full-blown mechanical factories. Even the enemies received a makeover, with the zombies looking more horrifying, and some of them can even self-destruct with gas tanks strapped to their backs, or even throw spears at you. The robots staying mostly the same as their counterparts from the originals, but most definitely, the mutants received a new look than your gas mask toting gunmen. They look like the pig and the rhino from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies or series, whatever. All of these make Zombotron 2019 feel so good to play, while also being a visual treat. But how does it fare story-wise? Well, let's get there. The story begins as Blaze Rush and his robot companion Ash arrives on the planet, seeking to help whoever is relaying the distress signal, unaware of what the planet holds. Not even a few minutes into the planet, Ash then radios in with Blaze once again. Blaze then meets with the inhabitants of the planet, the zombies, fighting through waves and waves till they reach the distress signal, which is coming from not a ship, but actually from an abandoned bunker. From here on out, the premise hooks you instantly. What starts as a simple call for help quickly turns into the discovery of an abandoned bunker. The story quickly turns into something much bigger than it first appears. Moving forward, as we delve deeper into the bunker, Blaze makes a discovery. Blaze is not alone on this planet. The real question is, what else is down here? Finding the communications array, Blaze makes a remark. Even after fixing the signal, Ash still seems to be not working. Blaze hopes the ship hasn't been tampered with. Picking up the nearby memory cubes, we at least have a gist of the former inhabitants of this bunker, or ship, or whatever it was. Whatever did happen to them, it did not end nicely. After getting out of the bunker and heading back into the ship, Blaze gets an unexpected guess. After taking down the beast, he makes his way back to the ship, only to find it in ruins. After realizing their ship was ransacked and ripped of parts, the pair then has a new goal: to find whoever stole the ship's power cells. Heading back into the unforsaken planet and exploring for a while, they find another ship. After finding a key to the ship, Ash seems to have detected light forms, different from the ones we have seen so far. Not only are there still living life forms on the planet, but in dire need of help, Blaze then quote-unquote offers his help to take out whatever this beast is. This is where Zombotron 2019 takes a left turn, introducing this brand new group, which is unnamed for the most part, but we'll call them the Tribesmen. Sardal, the leader, has to take shelter in the ship after a beast settled in the place where the tribesmen once collected food. Their importance of the story isn't major, but lore-wise adds more to the living world of Zombotron. Leaving the ship and more waves of the undead, we reach the lair of the beast. After Blaze kills the giant spider, he comes back to Sardal with the good news. Awarded with the key to the Zombomobile, he takes it for a spin and heads towards their destination, arriving at what seems to be another abandoned structure. Little did they know, this is an ancient temple filled with skeletons and other things that may be wanting to kill them. Yeah. After fighting through hordes and hordes of spiders and skeletons, Blaze meets someone unexpected in this place. Bear with me with these pronunciations, but we meet Arnie Khan, the first archiver of the main Geptonide, the third Infator. Why does these wind me up, man? I don't care. Whatever, but anyway. From the wiki page of Villains Wiki, weird place to find lore drop for Zombotron, but thank God, where we learn that the skeletons are actually named the Yolutone. I still don't know how to pronounce them. A species long ago that once lived in a town named Tarho Nome. What the fuck? Tarho Nome, or whatever. And during these times, they found an ancient artifact which belonged to the Marits and their leader, the Iskort Monarch. And Karlov, what are these names? Continuing, who then placed a curse on them, Arnie Khan then tried to warn the rest of the Yolutone, but was promptly ignored, which then led to the curse turning them into the creatures we have fought, and driving them insane. Arnie Khan being one of the few, or even the only one left of the Yolutone. The only way to get to the base of the robbers was through the old mines. He warns us that an Infator blocks the way. So, an afterthought, this section of the game really deepens how fucked up the world of Zombotron is. In just like a bit of dialogue, the same enemies that we were just fighting just used to be a normal everyday species till, the cursed, made them crazy and, whatever. And, the saddest part is Arnie Khan being the last one alive. Damn. Moving forward, after a bit more travel, we meet the Infator, and after fighting for a while, the entrance to the mines open up, and we get to meet the robots. The robots. After fighting for a while in the mines, we meet a familiar face from the old games. This is Harry, an old maintenance robot reprogrammed by another name we have met in the old games, Fina. From Harry, we learn that the robots are hostile due to the crystal's radiation poisoning. Only Harry is friendly due to Fina hooking him up with radiation shielding panels. He has collected crystal samples but can't get back to Fina due to every other exit being closed off, except for one, but is being guarded by a creature of sorts, meaning we'll have to do an escort mission. Also, if you noticed, Ash rickrolled us earlier, so here was my endgame reaction.
You gotta be fucking kidding me! Fucking Rick rolls me. Go fuck yourself.
Anyway, moving forward, we then escort Harry through the mines to the exit. Then we leave Harry to fight the creature alone, which is a stone golem, from what Harry said, has been growing stronger and bigger from consuming the crystals. After defeating the golem, Harry leads us to the exit and thanks Blaze. Harry heads back to Fina and her father, while we continue our search for the scavengers, but before that, Ash stops us to tell us something. After managing to decipher the data given to us by Arnie Khan, from the info, most of the creatures we have met might have been by experimental genetic engineering. The scientists overlooking the project had an infighting, which led to the half of them leaving the planet. Blaze then asks if there is still information who activated the distress signal in the first place. There is no clue yet. Continuing, they finally reach the scavenger's base. Meeting the scavengers, they have more than just the goal of stealing the ship's power cells, but to destroy the Sky People, or humans. They have talks of the humans devastating the planets, probably pointing to the scientists. Trying to find the boss scavenger, Blaze has a realization. Moving through the base, we arrive at our final destination, and we see what the scavengers use the power cell for.
Fuck this game, man. Holy shit.
After defeating the boss scavenger once and for all, we head back to the ship, only to find it in ruins. Okay, but that means we'll never know what the fuck happens in the fucking Blaze Rush in 2019, which is probably gonna be fucking explained in reboot. I should probably add in this extra section, but what's next? Well, we won't, because Zombotron 2019 didn't have any form of DLC or even a sequel. So we are left with a kinda sequel bait with Harry showing up at the end. But of course, Ant Karloff confirmed that Zombotron Reboot will be both a remaster of the original games, meaning Zombotron 1, which you can play right now with the demo, but that's not final, I'll explain later, and Zombotron 2 and Time Machine being rewritten as Blaze's story, and most importantly, the sequel to the End of Time Machine. Zombotron 2019 is where you can tell real care went into its creation. With years of experience Ant Karloff has gone into making these games, you can tell how everything is made so well. First, the graphics. Everything about this game just stands out. It's just genuinely impressive. It has so much personality. Every design stands out. And like, it just looks really good, man. Then there's the gameplay. Combat feels slower but more tactical, but the more you play it, it just flows very well. The new additions with the light RPG elements, like leveling up your character, the item rarities, and then an actual inventory, is what really makes 2019 feel different. It's easy to pick up, and that's what makes it genuinely fun, and just an all-around, like, a consistent game from start to finish. But the most important part is the story, most definitely the story. With the lack of the story in the first ever title, and just a little bit in sequels, the story is quite simple but adds so much to the world of Zombotron, and definitely gets you hooked from start to finish. It doesn't overwhelm you with exposition. Well, it kinda does, but it gives you enough to stay curious. And that basically keeps you going from level to level, finding out what else is there in Zombotron. Zombotron 2019 doesn't just look better or play better, it feels like it has more layers. It respects the roots of the series while adding enough world building and progression to make it stand apart. And that's why it's easy to appreciate what the developers created here. Now on to what I hated, but here's a montage of me getting pissed. Are you kidding me? Jesus Christ! Fuck off! What is that bullshit? Fuck off!
Fuck this game, man. Holy shit.
Okay, seriously now, but most definitely it's a late game stretch. It definitely feels sluggish and makes you want to do horrible things, but it's not enough that, you want to quit the game. But yeah, and then definitely the grenade launching robot, you already saw that. But that's actually it for what I hated. I didn't hate much of this game. There's very few to hate, so yeah, great game overall. Final thoughts, but yeah, Zombotron 2019 is a game you want to try out if you like the aesthetics of a 2D Flash game, or just trying out something new, Definitely give it a go at the Steam store. Also, you know what I said about the we'll talk about reboot later? That will be a follow-up video later, in like 5 days, hope so. I wanted to fit that in here, but this is already my longest video so far. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Please do like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me and my hard work. But see you on the next one, which is probably gonna be The Last Stand Games if we're talking about Retrospective. But yeah, see ya.